The various hip-hop scenes that sprung out of Chicago in the early 2010s have given us some of the greatest artists, producers and MCs in the genre. One of them may be the greatest rapper out there right now. That's right, sit back and enjoy this video on the incomparable Noname. Quick disclaimer before we begin, we try to be as objective as possible. It's no secret that this video is going to delve into potentially touchy political subject matters. This video expresses the writer's opinion on these topics in the context of Noname's musical output, and these opinions may not completely resemble yours. Also, we're probably going to miss some parts or not cover other parts probably. Use the chapters, and look, we tend not to use snippets too often for demonetization reasons. So, what is in a name? While she is by no means an anonymous artist, Noname's decision to opt out of a typical alias speaks volumes on its own. She is a person who refuses to be tied down by the boundaries that would be implied if she gave herself a proper stage name. Noname's first creative endeavours were poems, and she has continued to display her talent for poetry throughout her musical career. She started out competing in local slam poetry and open mic competitions, befriending future collaborators such as Chance the Rapper, Mick Jenkins and Saba. In fact, the years she spent crafting her first mixtape were marked by a number of high-profile features on some of those artists' greatest works. Many remember her from her verse on Chance's Lost from Acid Rap and Finish Line/Drown on Colouring Book. She also killed it on Mick Jenkins' Comfortable from his fantastic The Waters mixtape. She proved that she had so much more to give hip-hop fans, though, on Telephone. Subject matters would veer from darkly personal to cautiously uplifting with the ease of history's greatest writers. The first line on the mixtape's first song is, "And I know the money don't really make me whole." This is a sentiment we'll be coming back to as we explore her most recent evolution. That song, Yesterday, brilliantly conveys Telephone's theme of nuanced nostalgia. At this stage in her career, she is effectively past the glory days of making art purely for fun. She also misses brother Mike Hawkins, the local poet and mentor who passed away in 2014, and the song's primary subject. His influence was key to that scene in Chicago, and his passing sent shockwaves through the city. He was more than a gifted rapper, poet, teacher and mentor. He was a community leader, if there ever was one. Noname's most recent actions have proven that this is one of the trajectories that has called out to her. Even an outsider such as myself can confidently assume that if he were still with us, brother Mike would be immensely proud and supportive of Noname's activism in the city. As great as Telephone was, she upped her game significantly on Room 25. The stakes were high for her. She'd moved to Los Angeles to pursue a relationship that didn't work out. Moreover, she was open about the fact that Room 25 came about largely out of a financial necessity for her. She executive produced the album, funding the entire recording with the money she'd made from guest verses and tours. Room 25 sees her make a necessary pivot to grander political issues. The track Blaxploitation, for example, touches on media depictions of black women over the years and how that has led to proliferation of implicitly biased trains of thought among all too many people who were raised on those false depictions. She describes how the main stereotype of black women in the media suddenly seemed to shift from what has been deemed the mammy figure to something more provocative and flamboyant. This has led to the sort of pandering seen in Hillary Clinton's failed 2016 presidential campaign, which Noname directly calls out in the song. The song begins with a sample from Dolomite and ends with a sample from The Spook Who Sat by the Door. The latter is a classic piece of incendiary cinema about a black man who steals CIA tactics and teaches them to revolutionary freedom fighters based on the book of the same name by Sam Greenlee. It won't be the last major political issue brought up on Room 25, which delves further into police brutality, capitalist greed, neoliberal gaslighting and industry misogyny. As of writing, Room 25 is Noname's most recent full-length release. She's openly toyed with the idea of ceasing her musical career a number of times, although she has been teasing an upcoming project entitled Factory Baby that will hopefully come out in 2021. Lately though, she's proven that stepping away from a consistent release schedule has been not only beneficial to her mental health, but to her community as well. In July 2019, Noname helped form the Noname Book Club, which has been going strong ever since. Every month, 2 books by POC authors are selected and discussed with no boundaries in terms of time period, genre, or nationality. Selected authors have included France Fanon, Audre Lorde, Paulo Freire, Angela Davis, Octavia Butler, and many other authors of liberatory work. They also encourage their readers and everyone else to buy their books from local bookstores and avoid shopping through Amazon wherever possible. In 2020, they introduced a component to their program in which they send their monthly choices to incarcerated people across the United States. To my knowledge, Noname is the most prominent rapper doing work like this, and has taken a clear precedent over releasing music. This isn't to say she hasn't been releasing any music. She's released a few short untitled songs throughout 2019 and 2020. She also seems to have formed a trio with Saba and Smino called Ghetto Sage, so one hopes more music will materialise from that group sooner rather than later. Noname inadvertently became part of a pseudo beef in 2020, though, when J. Cole apparently criticised her on his Snow on the Bluff single. He also assumed she was privileged to have ostensibly been raised by parents who exposed her to revolutionary voices as a child. So she responded. Produced by Madlib, dropped a couple of days after Cole's moment. She called out Cole for dragging her in a time of such turmoil for black people in the United States, evoking the image of George Floyd calling out to his mother in the final moments of his life. She actually decided afterward to revoke the song's official status, apologising for releasing it in the first place. In her mind, she elongated the ordeal, further taking attention away from the important issues at hand. Noname refocused throughout 2020 and has mostly kept to her activist duties. Before ending the video though, her latest single Rainforest deserves to be discussed. This song directly confronts the overtly American fascination with billionaires, even within hip-hop, a culture that one might say is supposed to directly oppose these sorts of status infatuations. Rainforest posits some of Noname's most radical inclinations, calling out the wealth-hoarding class, the destruction of the planet for profit, and the grand global theft that is colonialism. It's a lot, to say the least. We need rappers talking about this stuff though, especially with the more sizable platforms than the rappers who have just been saying this for decades. Listening to people rap about money and materialistic things can be fun, but lately that kind of topic just hits different. Is it just me? On the one hand, it's inspiring, and some people can go from living in one of the most impoverished and cruel areas in the nation to being able to feed and take care of their entire family for the rest of their lives. But how much of this story is enough? How much is too much? As Noname puts it, we spend our precious time on this planet dying on stolen land for $1. And if that isn't the most succinct summation of the entire colonialist epoch, I'm not sure what is. The world is in pain. You don't need me to tell you that. One of humanity's greatest curative creations is music. Music can provide us all kinds of healing and comfort, but desperate times call for greater effort, not just from artists but from all of us. We should aspire to be a little bit more like Noname. We should be engaging with our communities, the people around us, the simple ones, and dreaming of inspired ways to change the world around us for the better. Change starts at home. A profit-based economic and political system would lead one to think the artists we should be looking at for guidance right now are the wealthiest ones. In this universe, hip-hop's leaders are the likes of Dre, Jay-Z, and Kanye West. As all three have proven though, through various musical and social endeavors, none of them is really the rapper America needs right now, if I'm being honest. Noname, the outspoken poet from Chicago, is the rapper that America needs right now. Thank you for watching.